We're gonna go see Game Night because it's called Game Night or something, the game. So we'll let you know how it is. Spandau Ballet, amazing. You don't make them like this anymore. The 80s had some amazing music, and they don't make them like this anymore. Amazing. Musicians, this around 19. Well, there's still a lot of good new wave music, but even with Depeche Mode, like Violator came out in 1990. But basically, musicians decided they were gonna suck in the 90s.
Like this part.
Know this much is true. Know this much is true. Can't beat that. You can't beat it. My uncle was tall and he drove a Volkswagen Rabbit. It's like I think he was only 6'2", but he seemed taller than that. If you ever saw that Simpsons where the guy's like, "Oh, I'm a tall guy driving a small car," you think that's exactly how he looks in it. It's like his knees were all propped up.
Is it those uncle I met?
He died. It's one of them that died. They're all dying. This one, it's the one that more recently died. It's true. It's true.
It's a long song. I want to see how many.
Wait, what time is it? I didn't check. Possibly. Might possibly be too early. So you don't want me to work for Lyft right now? Come on. Let's have an argument right here in an empty theater.
Because we're too early, honey. It's the game night, 2:30. It's only 2 p.m.
Yeah, you're the one that said, "Hey, let's leave.
Oh,
I didn't want to leave."
It's my fault again?
No, I just didn't want to come here this early.
Okay. You have fights, I can do this.
So we saw Game Night, and they had the trailers before the movie started, and there were not many people. The movie sucked. So there were a few people like in front of us, and there was a guy. Remember that there was a guy who was like 60 years old. He was between 50 and 60. And there's nothing that upsets me more when people are laughing at things that are not funny, like crude or just stupid. And there were like a couple like comedies coming out. Like one of them was like a teen movie, like really dumb. And the guy's laughing at like stupid jokes, and he had glasses on. He looked like a smart guy, and he's laughing at this really stupid stuff, and it's just getting me more. I'm just seething. I'm seething. I even started making comments. These fucking people are dumb, and there's nothing that upsets me more than that. Like there's something about comedies. Like, there's some great comedians out there. Just Artie Lang, Norm Macdonald, Brian Regan, Dave Chappelle. They're just absolutely great. But for some reason, movies...
Meet the fuckers, meet the parents. No. Yes.
For some reason, with movies, it just doesn't work. The comedies... I've only liked a couple comedies in my entire life. White Chicks, no. And those comedies were Kingpin and Dumb and Dumber. Even Dirty Work, I didn't like that much. A Norm Macdonald movie, and that had an amazing cast: Don Rickles, Chevy Chase. But for some reason, for one, the joke's only funny once. So if you're just going for the jokes, you can't watch it more than once. It's not funny anymore. For some reason, there was enough of it.
Artie doesn't find he's not funny guy.
For some reason, with Kingpin, and those, I think it was both done by the Farley brothers. I think that's the name, Farley brothers. For some reason, there's enough of a story there, and there's a little bit more there to where the movies are enjoyable. But for some comedy, I never go to watch comedies. I never watch comedies. Hollywood's not good at it. The great comedians, like maybe if Brian Regan was allowed to write a movie, it would be good. I don't know. It just never works. But sometimes they're really, really stupid. And when the people laugh, it just really bothers me. Like, really bothers me. And that was the situation here. Now, that being said, there were a few laughs. There were a couple funny parts. I noticed, like, I start laughing at the parts that they don't laugh at, I'm laughing at. I noticed the things that I thought funny, they didn't find funny. I guess it just shows my superior intellect. Or maybe I'm a sick individual. Like when the guy was getting beat up, I thought that was funny. But there were a couple good moments, some twists and turns. It's not the worst movie. There's certainly worse movies out there, so I guess it's worth seeing. We were just at a French cafe, Catherine's or something. Maybe it was Catherine's. I don't know. Maybe my wife got it from. And this religious man, he had like a cross right here. He wasn't wearing a full, priest uniform, but I thought he might be a priest. And he was meeting a woman. She came in a little bit later, but I sit down, and I'm sitting down with Gilles, and he just his looks he kills. It's just like. He looked at me twice, and so if he is a priest, I don't understand why he's upset with me, because he was obviously upset that I was with my wife, and because they're celibate, right? Or maybe he's further down to where he can still have sex with people. He's not quite up at the priest level yet. See, that's religion. It's so bullshit. You have people hiding, completely dishonest. I mean, there are some very good religious people. Fareed, he believes it. God bless him. Pardon the pun, or pardon the figure of speech. But this is one of the Christians. The Christians are the worst. Catholics, because he was obviously a very hateful, angry guy. And yet religious, yet a man of God.